a new series, Be a Wolf. This one here is about learning how to love failure. So a lot of you have seen my Be the Best You series of articles. I'll put them down below if you haven't. And you said, you know what, can you put that in video form and go through the different articles in video form and kind of expand upon what you wrote in the articles. So that's what we're doing here with Be a Wolf series. So the one thing about failure is it's not a negative thing. A lot of people look at it as a negative, and it's actually a positive. When you fail, you learn. So everybody out there has failed from one time or another. If you're very successful, you probably have failed many, many, many times. Why is that? Most of the people who are successful in life are the ones that aren't afraid to take risks. They aren't afraid to fail. And they're not afraid to learn from their failures. Here's why it's important to learn from your failures. If you don't learn from your failures and you keep going through life and doing the same thing over again, you're going to keep failing. To not keep failing, you have to learn from your failures. Now, there's a lot more than saying just learn from your failures. There's a lot of things that go into it. You got to be responsible. You have to, take responsibility for things that go wrong. That's right. I got gloves on. It's 20 degrees outside. What do you expect? What, do you want me to be out here in a bikini? I don't even know if I'd want to be out here in a bikini, personally. So let me give you an example recently. I'm in IT. We do projects. I managed a project recently. And we set up the project plan. We went through it. We went through all the steps, everything that needed to be done. The first project we did, in regards to that series of projects, they were all very similar. It went perfect. Barely anything went wrong or askew. Like literally nothing. We set up the project for the next site. We go through the project. Boom, we hit some speed bumps. One speed bump in particular we didn't see because we didn't hit that speed bump on the first project. I was responsible for that part. So what did I do? I didn't say, you know what? It should have went according to what the first project did where it went perfect. No. I went into work on Monday morning. I went into the team meeting. I said, that's on me, my responsibility. Sorry guys that you had to stay an extra 2 hours before you could go on your holiday weekend. Yeah, that's right. The guys I was working with, they had to stay 2 extra hours in that afternoon because of something that I was responsible for that didn't come through. I went into that project. I said, look, it was on me. We're going to do this step, and it's not going to happen again because we're going to make sure, because we're putting these new steps in place, that that problem isn't going to happen again. We're going to save time, we're going to save money, and we're going to have a much smoother process. That's what you have to do. You have to be responsible for your failures. If you keep failing, it's on you. It's not on the process, it's not on your team, it's on you. So as I already said, people who are successful fail. Don't care what other people think about you because you failed or you because you led something. Don't be afraid to go out and lead a project. Don't be afraid to go out and lead something because you're going to fail. Don't fear it. Embrace that responsibility of possibly failing. You know what makes a difference between you failing and your management respecting you and you failing and your management not respecting you? It's you going in, taking responsibility and saying, this is what failed and here are the steps and what we're going to take next time so it doesn't fail again. Don't be the person to fail and not come up with the recovery steps so it doesn't happen again. Don't be the person that fails and doesn't recover. So why should you love to fail? You should love to fail because you should be trying different things, trying different projects, trying different kinds of businesses, maybe starting a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you have to start 4 or 5 before you find your niche, before you find what you're good at in regard to getting a message across to the people out there. If you're on a team and someone else is not willing to look at the failure and find the steps to make it better, you find those steps. You take the responsibility. If they're throwing their hands up and saying, this is just a failure, we couldn't do a better job. You find a way to do a better job. What are you looking at, Kat? Huh? Where? Yeah, I see you, fool. The younger you figure out to love failure and go out there and learn from failure, the better off you're going to be. The faster you're going to track up, not down. The difference between being a failure in life and failing at times in life is effort. Is brushing your knees off, getting up, looking at the different steps, looking at what you can do next time to not be a failure, to not fail. That's the difference between being a failure in life and failing at one or two things. You know, one of the most astonishing things in life, one of the most constant things in life, there's not a lot of constants from the beginning of time until now, but one of them is failure. And failure does not discriminate. Failure preys on the wealthy and the successful as much as it does the poor and the unsuccessful. I get it. Failure can harm your ego. But you know what? Your ego doesn't matter. I get it. People like the good things. You like to talk about the good times. You like to discuss the good things. Your ego loves it. It loves it. It's like an adrenaline rush. The good stuff. But you know what? There's as much good in the failures in your life as much as there is the successes. And you have to learn from them if you're going to move forward. I'll tell you one thing. I would be so much further in my career if at a younger age I embraced failure. I didn't fight failure. I wasn't afraid of failure. If I did that much earlier in life, I'd be a lot further right now. The one thing you can do is when you're planning things, it doesn't matter what it is, business plan, if you're planning a project, if you're planning a wedding, whatever you're planning, all you have to do is look at the things that could go wrong. So plan it all out and then look at the holes. Everything has holes in it. Look at the potential for failure points and set up contingency plans based on that. If this doesn't go X, Y, Z, then we need to do this. If this does go this way, we have to go that way. We have to do this. Always set up some contingency plans just in case. That way, if there is some failures in your plan, you can get through those speed bumps, and there'll be speed bumps. They won't be potholes. So hopefully this has helped you a little bit. There's more to come in this series, this Be a Wolf series, and what this is how to be a wolf in life. Don't go out there and be afraid. Go out there and be a wolf.